Hello, I'm Edgar Parnell, and I'm posting a series of videos that deal with some critical issues for co-ops and all other types of self-help enterprises. That's SHEs for short. In this session, I'm focusing on the system of association, which is essential in all types of self-help enterprises. The system of association is one of four critical systems that are central to the self-help model of enterprise, alongside the systems of organization, economics, and management. The aim of the system of association is to establish and sustain the community of interest that needs to exist if people are to work together to achieve a specified purpose. The founders of an organization will choose a framework for a system of association that best facilitates the achievement of their purpose. They normally need to select a legal framework from those that the state provides. For example, for enterprises that may select a partnership, a private or public company, or make use of those options available to meet the needs of the various types of self-help enterprises. The options typically available to SHEs include legal frameworks for co-ops, credit unions, building societies, for example. The critical differences between a self-help enterprise and a company is that SHEs are associations of equal persons, whereas a company is an association of finance, that is to say, capital. The aim of the system of association in SHEs is to establish and sustain the community of interest, which must form the basis of the qualifications for membership. The system will also keep the enterprise under democratic control of its members and uphold the practice of mutual and beneficial ownership of the enterprise. The system of association required with SHEs comprises 5 essential subsystems. These are membership, ownership, democratic control, member development, and leadership development. It's most important to stress that all these subsystems are essential to the success of SHEs. All systems need to be complete systems that must be used in their entirety. Otherwise, the purpose of the enterprise may soon become displaced by an alternative that is most likely to become the preservation and enhancement of the lifestyles of those currently running the enterprise. It's also essential to appreciate that all the systems that make up the overall self-help enterprise model are interdependent. This means that the successful implementation of the system of association relies upon the system of organization, the economic system, and the management system, all these being simultaneously put into operation. In particular, the success of the system of association also requires that the governance and oversight are both rigorous and effective. If you haven't already viewed the video, The Power of Human Systems, I recommend that you see this as soon as you can. A full set of practices to support the system of association must be in place. These will include systems that specify, first, the basis of membership, along with the qualifications for membership, which must be entirely clear. The most essential qualification is a commitment to the purpose of the enterprise and to working with all other members towards the achievement of that purpose. What may appear to be mundane practices are often highly significant. For example, maintaining the register of members. This register needs to show who, at any point in time, are valid members and how they qualify to be and remain members. Also, whether they are economically active members. All qualified members must be of equal standing. Members need an equitable organisation, one committed to treating its members equally. The practice of equivalence needs to prevail in all dealings with members of a self-help enterprise. This means equal votes, equal voice, equal chances, equal responsibilities, and equal access to the best deals, and being equally valid as a human being. In addition, members need an organisation that is obligated to be fair and honest in all its dealings and is committed to openness and transparency, as well as being free of corruption, nepotism, cronyism, and patronage, which creates dependency. If SHEs are to succeed, members need to know that the benefits gained from their mutual action will outweigh the hassle that is often associated with working together with others. The success of SHEs depends upon building mutual trust. Establishing trust requires a set of rules that govern the behaviour of individual members. Members also need to understand that there will be sanctions against those who do not stick to the agreed rules of behaviour. Simply emphasising the benefits or rights in SHEs is not sufficient. There must be an honest acceptance of the need for members to share the risks and take on their responsibilities. In fact, the rules form a contract between the member and the enterprise. Mutual action can only be a voluntary activity and not the result of any form of compulsion. Members should be able to join and to leave freely, but without leaving behind any burdens upon the remaining members. Membership should not be regarded as being free in the sense that it is without cost. It should have a tangible value and a clearly understood cost. Such costs may include any annual fee and/or qualifying investment. Also, the obligation to act as a responsible member. Further to these restrictions are the limits set by the capacity of the enterprise to service new members. For example, a club that can only accommodate a limited number of members, or a worker co-op that only has sufficient work to provide jobs for a limited number of members. However, membership should also be open to those who share the same community of interest and any qualifying common bond. Also, every member must be able to benefit from and contribute to the achievement of the enterprise's purpose. Open membership simply means that applicants for membership will not be subject to any form of discrimination. Membership must be paramount in every aspect of a co-op's activities. Selling to non-members is a practice that is the source of many of their ills. Where co-ops regard customers as being more important than members, then that enterprise has a big problem. This is the elephant in the room that usually nobody wants to talk about. Consumer-owned enterprises should only have members and soon-to-be members. In worker co-ops, all those employed, that is, working in the enterprise, ought to be a member or a time-limited probationary member. In producer-owned co-ops, its services should be only available to producer members. In all cases, the practice of allowing easy access to the privilege of membership by non-members can completely undermine the integrity of the enterprise as a genuine co-op. It's important to remember that in SHEs, democratic control is a means to an end and not itself an end. Democratic control is a vital element of SHEs. This is because it is essential to ensuring that the organization both serves its purpose and serves its members. When a group of people set up an enterprise with the intention of serving their mutual interests, the only guarantee they have that the organization will remain committed to its purpose is for it to remain under authentic democratic member control. Beneficial and mutual ownership is an integral part of the system of association. This means SHEs, as corporate bodies, control the assets used by the enterprise, whilst individual members own their personal investments in the enterprise. SHEs cannot offer outright ownership. Instead, members enjoy the use of the enterprise's assets while they remain members. This method of ownership secures the long-term future of the enterprise. This practice also forms part of the self-help economic system. Capacity building is central to the success of all self-help enterprises, for if people are to work together effectively, they must possess the basic skills necessary to fulfill their functions. In some cases, this may involve helping members with literacy and numeracy, and in the modern world, the required level of computer literacy. Members must also develop their capacity to function within a democratically controlled organization. Where a sales-driven culture exists within an enterprise, which is sometimes the case in various types of consumer co-ops, leaders commonly make the mistake of recruiting members solely to increase the size of their customer base. Unless all members understand the true purpose of their enterprise, then it will inevitably mutate into an organization controlled by and run mainly for the benefit of its management or a clique of members. Such cliques may be entirely serving their self-interest or make use of the enterprise to further partisan political aims or some other self-obsessed cause. The leadership development system needs to produce an adequate pool of member leaders and managers, all with the necessary skills to operate genuine self-help enterprises. Although there are bound to be differences in some of the technical aspects of each role, all leaders ought to follow the same core syllabus. This common knowledge base is indispensable if their enterprises are to achieve the unity of purpose that is the key to the success of this form of enterprise. This diagram seeks to illustrate the process to be followed in implementing the entire system of association, which, together with the practices outlined earlier, form the system of association. All the necessary practices to implement the system are detailed in the book Enterprises that change lives. In the next video in this series, I outline the economic system which is required in SHEs and explain the significance of the essential practices underlying this system. Please check out my website Co-oppundit.org for more information. All the explanations and details of the practices required to implement the co-op/self-help enterprise model are set out in my book, Enterprises That Change Lives. Please visit my website to get this book or find it on Amazon Books website. You can download a copy of this important book from as little as UK pounds £2.99 or US dollars $3.99, or get a paperback version mailed to you in many different countries. Thanks for watching. I look forward to you joining me for another session soon.